Hi, boys and girls. It's story time with Mrs. Wauro, and I'm going to read Charlie Brown's Christmas by Charles Schulz. Christmas time was here, the time when snowflakes fell softly and the sounds of carols rang through the air. It was the time filled with happiness, and for children everywhere, it was their favorite time of year. But one little boy wasn't feeling very excited about Christmas. "I just don't understand Christmas," Charlie Brown said as a light snow began to fall. "I might be getting presents, sending Christmas cards, and decorating trees, but I'm still not happy. I always end up feeling depressed." "You're the only person I know who can take a wonderful season like Christmas and turn it into a problem," Linus replied. "Lucy's right. Of all the Charlie Browns in the world, you're the Charlie Browniest." There's Charlie Brown, there's Linus. At the local skating pond, the boys found their friends playing a round of Crack the Whip. Snoopy grabbed Linus' blanket to drag him into the ice, but he caught Charlie Brown in it and sent him flying into the snowbank. Charlie Brown wasn't surprised. Things like that always happens to him. And the holiday season, when he didn't get cards, and even his own dog ignored him, only made it more obvious. He needed someone to talk to. Oh my goodness. That's silly. Lucy dashed over to the psychiatry booth to meet Charlie Brown. "May I help you?" she asked. "I am in sad shape," Charlie Brown replied with a sigh. "My trouble is Christmas. I just don't understand it. Instead of feeling happy, I feel sort of let down." There's Lucy. Lucy knew just how to fix Charlie Brown's problem. "You need to get involved in a Christmas project," she declared. "How would you like to be the director of our Christmas play?" "Me? But I don't know anything about directing a Christmas play," Charlie Brown fretted. "Don't worry. I'll be there to help you," Lucy said. "I'll meet you at the auditorium." Now that's just a big Dr. Wirt auditorium for a big area where you sit, like a theater, for you to put your play on, your production. Just then, Snoopy walked past, carrying a box filled with decorations. Charlie Brown followed Snoopy back to his doghouse. "What's going on here?" Charlie Brown asked. Snoopy handed him a flyer, and Charlie Brown read it. "Find the true meaning of Christmas. Win money. Money at the spectacular super colossal lights and display contest." "Oh no, my own dog has gone commercial. I can't stand it." Charlie Brown threw the flyer on the ground. On the way to the auditorium, he ran into his sister Sally. "I've been looking for you, big brother," she said sweetly. Sally knew exactly what she wanted, but her list was so long she decided it would be easier to ask for money. "How about 10s and 20s, she suggested. "10s and 20s? Oh, even my baby sister," Charlie Brown groaned. "Surely Christmas was about more than money and presents." "Oh, certainly is." Let's try to figure out how Charlie Brown's going to find that out. In the auditorium, the whole Peanuts gang danced to a jazz tune that Schroeder played on his piano. Charlie Brown walked into the stage. "Let's get right down to work," he said. "It's important that you pay strict attention to the director. Am I right?" I said, "Am I right?" But no one was paying attention to Charlie Brown. They had started dancing again. Oh dear. "Stop the music," Charlie Brown yelled. "We're going to do this play, and we're going to do it right." Lucy passed out those scripts and the costumes. One by one, the kids found out their roles in the play. Frida would play the innkeeper's wife. Pigpen would play the innkeeper. Shermie would play the shepherd, and Snoopy would play all the animals in the script, and even some that weren't. "Let's rehearse the scene at the end," directed Charlie Brown. "Let's take it from the top. Please, at places and action." But once more, the kids started dancing and fooling around. Charlie Brown rolled his eyes. They're not listening. Oh my goodness. That does it, Charlie Brown exclaimed. If we're ever going to get this play off the ground, we've got to have some cooperation. That means working together. Let's face it, replied Lucy. We all know that Christmas is a big commercial racket. Well, this one play that's not going to be commercial, Charlie Brown insisted. We need the proper mood. We need a Christmas tree. Lucy nodded excitedly. A great big shiny aluminum Christmas tree. That's it, Charlie Brown. You get the tree. I'll handle the crowd. Okay, I'll take Linus with me, and the rest of you practice your lines, Charlie Brown said firmly. That means they're words for the play. Get the biggest tree you can find. Charlie Brown called Lucy. Yeah, do something right for a change, Charlie Brown, added Peppermint Patty as the boys walked into the cold wintry night. Oh, geez. They followed a set of gleaming spotlights to a Christmas tree lot. It was filled with shiny trees, polka-dotted trees, and trees in every color of the rainbow. Clink, clink, clink. Linus knocked on one of the metal trees. Gee, do they still make wooden Christmas trees? Asked Linus. He didn't see anything like that in the Christmas tree lot. Then Charlie Brown spotted a small, scraggly little pine tree. It had a wooden trunk and soft green needles. This little green one here seems to need a good home, he said excitedly. I don't know, Charlie Brown, Linus said. Remember what Lucy said? That doesn't seem to fit the modern spirit. I don't care, Charlie Brown insisted. We'll decorate it and it will be just right for our play. Besides, I think it needs me. It's a perfect tree. Just like you boys and girls, you're perfect. Soon Charlie Brown and Linus walked into the stage. We're back, Charlie Brown announced as he set the tree on top of Schroeder's piano. When the kids rushed over to see the tree, their mouths dropped in shock. The scraggly little tree was not what they expected. You were supposed to get a good tree. Can't you even tell a good tree from a poor tree? Said Lucy. You're hopeless, Charlie Brown, added Peppermint Patty. Well, that wasn't very nice. Charlie Brown sighed. I shouldn't have picked this little tree. Everything I do turns into a disaster. I guess I really don't know what Christmas is all about. Isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is about? He exclaimed. Do you know what Christmas is about, boys and girls? Think about it. Sure, Charlie Brown replied Linus. I can tell you what Christmas is about. So Linus crossed to the center of the stage, and the lights dimmed, and the spotlight shone right down on him. Charlie Brown picked up the tree and walked outside. He started up at the night sky. Linus is right, he says. I won't let all this commercialism ruin my Christmas. I'll take this little tree home and decorate it, and I'll show them it really will work in our play. When he passed Snoopy's doghouse, Charlie Brown pulled a shiny red ornament off the doghouse and proudly hung it on the tree. But the tiny tree buckled under the weight of the ornament, and a look of horror crossed Charlie Brown's face. I've killed it. Oh, everything I touch gets ruined. His head hung in defeat. Charlie Brown sadly walked away. There's the ornament. Then the rest of the Peanuts gang arrived. I've never thought it was such a bad little tree, Linus said. He straightened the tree's bent trunk and wrapped his blanket around its base. It's not bad at all. Really, it just needs a little love. Without speaking, the other kids took the lights and ornaments off Snoopy's doghouse and used them to decorate. Before their very eyes, it transformed into a beautiful Christmas tree. Charlie Brown walked up to the group and barely recognized the tree. What's going on here? He exclaimed. And all together around the beautiful Christmas tree, they all began to sing. Christmas is and means family and friends and love. And that is what Christmas is all about, boys and girls, is believing in each other and working together and having fun and making great memories. Okay, so now I'd like you to please go get your little Charlie Brown Christmas tree. Some of you put a magnet on it, and you can put that on your fridge. And some of you, can hang it in your tree if you like, or put it in your room. And remember what Christmas is all about. It's about love. Okay? All right, and you are loved.